I'm Lily and today I'd like to introduce you to how we can paper piece using our dies. So this is all about actually using the waste of our die cuts and keeping that waste in to create a paper pieced effect. Now this is a really fun technique to do. It does take a little bit of time, but I personally find it really therapeutic and it does yield lovely results, so I think you're really going to enjoy this one. Now all I've taken a set of tattered lace dies. Now this is from our Sensational Surprises collection and this is the square lace panel. I've just taken the smallest die within the collection, adding the frame to cut this image out. I've also cut a solid square as well that's going to go behind. So all I'm going to do to start with is I'm going to take some double-sided tape. Now there are several ways in which you can do this technique. This is just the way I'm going to show you today. I'm going to run a piece of this finger lift tape along the edge and then I'm going to remove the backing. Well, I'm going to try to anyway. There we go. I'm going to run another line along, butting that up right against that first line of tape. Again, trimming off the excess like so, and then just peeling the backing off. I'm going to do the same again. Now if you do have thicker tape, you can use that and it will be a little bit quicker than using the thinner stuff like we've got here. But basically we just want some adhesive onto this square, as we're going to stick the lacy detail over the top. Now we don't need to use anything like red liner tape, we don't need that super strength onto here, we just want a little bit of adhesive onto there so that we can stick our frame over the top, as we will see shortly. So removing the tape one piece at a time. If you do have a piece of double-sided adhesive sheets, you can use that for this technique as well. Just place your adhesive sheet over your square and remove the backing. But if you don't, you can use double-sided tape as I am doing here. So remove the backing from that final piece if it wants to come off, just like so. Fold that over. Okay, now we're taking the lacy panel and we're just going to line that up over the top so it's level. And as you can see, we've got some of the adhesive exposed through there, so it's still sticking. So we can't really leave that like that because it's not finished. So this is where the paper piecing part comes into the equation. So I've run this die back through the die cutting machine 3 additional times. Once through a pale pink cardstock, once with a darker pink cardstock and once with a lilac-y colour. And what we're going to do, and it's almost like a puzzle, it's almost like a jigsaw, so if you're into that sort of thing then you're going to love paper piecing. We take our pieces, so this is basically the waste, this is usually what we'd be popping out and popping in the bin. But as you can see we can use it to fantastic effect here. So take one piece at a time and just line that up into those areas of exposed adhesive and just press them down. Now if you do have sort of a sticky picky uppy tool sort of thing, you can use that here and just literally pick up your pieces and place them onto your design. That will make your life a lot easier if you are struggling. Just inlaying them into the spaces and it gives you almost like a quilted finish. I'm using 3 different colours of cardstock here. You can use one, you can use as many as you like, depending on your design and the desired effect that you want to get. You can of course do it with any die whatsoever. So I've chosen a lacy die. I think that works really nicely. It can highlight that lace and really bring that to the fore. But you can be doing it with sort of character dies, you could be doing it with a butterfly die. Anything lacy works really, really nicely, just to piece those little bits back into the image and give us a really lovely effect. You could be using lots of different finishes of cardstock, you could be using glitter card, mirror card, anything at all really for this technique. So piecing each piece back in very, very easily like so. And as you can see the design is starting to take shape. It takes shape fairly quickly. Obviously if you are working on a larger piece it will take a little bit of time for it to take shape. It depends how much time you've got really. I personally, as I've mentioned earlier, I personally love doing this and I could sit doing it for hours, so I'd have no issue at all with building up a really large design. But as you can see here I've chosen a fairly small image to paper piece just so that it doesn't take too long. and you can see with it being quite a small image, it does come together quite quickly. As you can see, we're nearly done now. So the effect is building. We do have almost a quilted effect. It's really quite interesting. And the last few pieces are just going in here. I think a piece missing, but not to worry. You will get the effect. And of course, you don't have to paper piece every piece back in. You can actually just highlight a few, just do a few of the different pieces. You don't have to do every single piece, and that will give you a really nice different effect as well. So as you can see, I'm actually that piece missing, but we're not going to worry about that, as we can see the effect quite nicely. You can see with paper piece with 3 different tones onto there, creating a really nice effect just by keeping the waste in our dies. And of course, you can be doing that with any die that you choose. Any tattler style will work fantastically with. But I hope you do have a go at paper piecing, because it is great fun.